Hey, can you take us a little bit history of Azizz? Can you take us back to where you were born and raised?
I was born and raised in Georgetown, Guyana, East La Penitence Housing Scheme. I was like 13 years old when I got to the U.S. in '88, and one of the the most fun things. Probably not right now. I'm doing an interview. One of the most fun things I've ever remember in my back in the days is me getting robbed for my Guyanese chain. I was like
Oh
13
wow,
years old with a gun to my neck. The first 6 months in the country, America ain't shit. Black
that's
people ain't
crazy.
shit sometimes to black people. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't
Right,
know nothing about the world, but the drugs that had plagued the community with was a major hinder in like black folks' success. It took a while to like get over the fact that I hated Americans for a little bit. I ain't even gonna lie, cause that shit like rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Cause where I'm from, you don't have to be rich to be loved or to show love. You know what I'm saying? So like it's like community. It's like best way I can say like California. You know how California, you go to Cali, there's certain hoods like that's them. That's their tribe. You know what I'm saying? So if you lived in East La Penitence and you stole something, everybody came out and beat your ass. Even the old grandmama that was 83 years old, she had a whip or something trying to whip your ass because it was community based. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of
right.
the things that I noticed like I ain't really appreciated about America. Like they divided black folks to where they made this brother feel like he wasn't equal to the other dude because he was on drugs or wasn't on drugs. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with it. It's like that's not even that nigga fault. You know what I'm saying? Because if you put anything in front of somebody 1,000 times, they're gonna try it. You feel me?
Right. So coming to America at the age of 13, what was the day in the life like as is growing up in America in Georgetown? All right, I'm sorry, here in the United States.
The United States, like I say this, when I used to live in Guyana, it was trees, coconut trees, mango trees, guava trees, et cetera, and a big ass house that housed my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother and grandfather and all their kids. You know what I'm saying? All their children. When I got here, the one thing I noticed is there wasn't no life. Like when you in the plane before you land on JFK, if you remember, the first thing you'll notice is lights. It looks like the uh the the fantasy they pictured or they painted when they say America streets is painted in gold. Like when you're in the plane and you're coming from a different country that's dark predominantly 15 hours a day, maybe 5 hours a day sometimes, because the lights go out in the whole country or your section of the country because it has to. And you come here and you're like, damn, it's lights 24/7. It's like a culture shock. It looks like gold on the streets. But when you land on the streets, it's actually no life. It's concrete. So they covered the ground to kill everybody's frequency over here to continue the illusion. You know what I'm saying? That's what I noticed now as an adult. Back then, it was fucking amazing. It was like y'all got Burger King, y'all got this, that. Everything was accessible. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't care about the guava trees and the mango trees and all that. It was like a whole new reality. That's the best way I could say it. I always say to a lot of people, even though I'm this age, I'm still like 33 to 32 years old as far as understanding when it comes to America. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at myself as being reborn, as if I was abducted by aliens and brought to here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a whole new world. You know what I'm saying? Money rules, people don't. You know what I'm saying? Stability rules, caring for people don't. In my country, it's caring for people, then stability. You know what I'm saying? Like you come stay in my house if I got a house and you don't got no place to stay. You can come, you don't have to ask for sugar. You could come just looking like you need sugar and we gonna read the energy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Right.
naturally different.
When you came to the United States, what was your earliest memories of hip hop? When did you first see hip hop up close and personal?
Uh, Yo MTV Raps, 88, KRS-One, G-Rap, Kane, Rakim, Microphone Fiend, and You Must Learn caught my attention way before Scarface. You know what I'm saying? Look at my
Right.
cuz photo by my interview and shit.
He ain't gonna let that go, pimp. We're gonna hit that on motherfucking live right now. I know
All
that.
weekend. We celebrating all weekend. This day 4. They won't let me
That's
go. I
what's up.
talk shit. Black Power, your action.
No
Right now,
doubt.
forget this right here. Slang time. We love you till one. I'm out.
Blank ton, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
yeah, man. So yeah, the difference was just that. It's like hip hop was dope. Hip hop was my language. Hip hop was my out, my energy, my like everything I needed because, you know what I mean, I was the only child growing up and I ain't never care about nobody else feelings. You know what I'm saying? I still really don't. It's weird. But you know what I mean, when I saw hip hop, it was different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna get deep, a little deep on y'all. Before it was hip hop, it was Minister Louis Farrakhan. Pardon me, I've been sipping and smoking, so I might slur a little bit. But before hip hop, it was Minister Louis Farrakhan. I used to get up every morning between 6 and 4 and 6 every Sunday and listen to Farrakhan talk. And back then, he was very radical. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even a Muslim. I think I still ate pork back then. You know what I mean? I was like fresh 2, 3 years in the country. So that's the first person that, to me, was hip hop. Because the shit he was saying that shit for Pac was saying it. You know what I'm saying? He was letting brothers know, like, look, man, you don't have to be a victim to European standards. You know what I'm saying? And then I saw KRS-One kind of embellish on that. You know what I'm saying? And when I watched KRS, it was like, okay, I'm going to school. They're teaching me about Don Quixote and Columbus and shit. But even in my country in Guyana, I never really knew much about Harriet Tubman and none of the slave stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because in our country, I guess to not make you realize it was an illusion, they don't dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? So when you get here, hip hop is the education for black
Right.
people. Like I don't care who you are, what country you came from, you learn to speak English because of hip hop. 90% of the people that tell you they learn to speak English because of hip hop. Because it was informative, it was real, it wasn't uh, flashy and sugar coated. It was something that everyone could be a part of. You know what I'm saying? And I loved it back then because you could have been the most famous person in the world. You could still pull up on the hood block and buy weed. And I referenced that to Biggie Smalls coming on our block back in '93 on Linden Ave in East Orange with Faith Evans to buy weed. And he was the biggest nigga in the world. We wasn't fanatics. We didn't want to hurt him. We embraced the energy because the ghetto youths of America, we ain't never have no heroes after Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? So hip
Right.
hop and hip hop artists were our heroes. You know what I mean?
At what point did you start putting the pad together and start taking hip hop serious?
I think I was like maybe 18 years old. We was a bunch of kids. My man Wes, Star, my cousin Mike, Chris, R. We used to call ourselves MP. You know what I mean, and my man Star had a job at the East Orange High School where we all went to, and they let him use the camera for about I think 2 weeks or something like that. And after we saw Juice, we decided to shoot our own movie. So we was out in the streets doing action scenes or whatever, whatever. And I never forget it. My man West was like, yo, Azizz, you should write a song for the movie, yo. I was like, man, I don't even know how to rap. He's like, bro, you know how to rap. I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll try it. And I went home and did some bullshit. And I came back, I was like, yo, little kids living rough. Life is tough. Fuck, fuck. You fuck around and get snuck. Buck, buck. What? Life is over. That shit. This ain't no movie skit. This is some real shit. This movie is real. Little kids packing steel. Ain't shit funny. Robbing niggas for money. I said, robbing niggas for money, dressing bummy, ain't got no honey dip, sucking on your dick, man. Fuck that shit. I've been pushed to the what? Pushed to the limit. I've been pushed to the what? That was the first song, and that was the movie, you know what I mean? Pushed to the limit and shit. I remember that rap like it was yesterday sometimes. I fucked up a little bit, but yeah. That was my first pen. And that was like 88. I was like 3 years in the country, bro. By 96, I was one of the freshest niggas in Jersey. Me, Slang, and Loon and the Outsidaz. Couldn't fuck with us. If you got past anybody, me, Slang, and Loon was your ultimate. You know what I'm saying? You had to come past us to get that W.
You mentioned the Outsidaz. Can you take us back the Outsidaz formed?
Well, the Outsidaz formed way before I got around. Like I said, I'm the Guyanese dude that don't really know nothing. I ain't got the answers. Because, like I said, I feel like I was abducted and dropped into heaven. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everybody realizes how beautiful this planet is and America is because they haven't been anywhere else. But when I first got here, it's a culture shock, and hip hop was so dope to me, and nothing that anyone can do could tell me any different. So when I was in high school, my buddy Kareem Miller, we was like best friends and shit. He used to always be like, "Yo, Azizz." Well, they used to call me Bree. Like, my name's Aubrey, but back then they used to call me Bree. And me and him, we used to be big fans of Chubb Rock. And we used to call ourselves D-Dog and Diggity Dog. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, "Yo, D-Dog, I need you to meet my peoples, yo. They fresh as hell." And I ain't never know who they was. And back then he was talking about Young Z and Yaya because he was dating their sister, Dawn. And he was like, "Yo, you gotta meet these dudes." And in high school, I used to be loyal to my mom. I listened to my mom religiously. Like, it was like graduate and that's it. You could do whatever, you know what I'm saying? But she wanted me to go to college. I had no aspiration to go to college. I loved hip hop too much. So boom, he was like, after I graduated, I started hanging out a little more. Like I said, I started coming out of my shell. Even though I used to rap and all that shit, I used to do that with my cousins and my first friends that I met in the country, you know what I'm saying? Those guys that I met in school had to go through like a probation period in my head before I could trust them. So I finally started bringing everybody around me and started hanging around cats kind of in my house. So he pulls up to my house one day with Slang and Loon, and I'm like, "Yo, what's good?" He was like, "Yo, these my cousins I've been telling you about. They spit." Because apparently he was Loon One's cousin, and he was dating Young Z's sister. So boom, we kicking it, and Slang and Loon just started smoking, and they started rapping, and I'm like blown the fuck away. Like, I'm talking about incredible, phenomenal, amazing, awesomely fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? And I just be like, "Yo, man, I need to learn how y'all get that fresh." He'd be like, "Yo, fuck with us." But back then, a lot of people don't know, like, we used to smoke angel dust. You know what I'm saying? And before I started smoking it, I think they was smoking it. And they brought it to me one night and slipped me, whatever. But that's kind of like the ritual to kind of help you tap in if you could survive that trip. You know what I'm saying? So when I survived that trip, everything looked different. I was actually one of them. So now I can see, oh shit, that's how y'all get them punchlines. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much the drug, but it was more so like maybe I was dead ass sleep. My eyes was dead ass shut. And then that made my eyes wide shut. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm woke. And I'm like, oh, I could do this shit. But back then I used to make beats too, because me and the same gentleman, Kareem Miller, he introduced me to his cousin, who was Loon's brother. And we had a rap group together. His name was Ghetto. And Ghetto was the first person that used to let me kind of like DJ for him and shit. And then I would come to the studio and kind of add on my 2 cents while he would make a beat. He'll like sample like, I'll say the hottest song of that year, he'll sample it. He was doing like mixtape shit in a sense, you know what I'm saying, back then. So he'll sample it, rap on it, and we'll go to this club called Lil Shields and rap. So one weekend, he let me hop on a song. This is after me hanging with Slang and Loon, and he didn't really know because I was, you know what I mean, some of his brother shit. So boom, he let me hop on the song, and I kind of killed it. So we go to Lil Shields to perform. This is my first song ever. So I get on the mic, and he get on the mic, he spit. They're used to him, you know what I'm saying? He was a regular, he was the man. So I get on there, I start rapping, they were talking and whatever, and then everybody stopped and turned around and started watching me as I was spitting. I was like, oh, I'm that nigga now. You know what I'm saying? And then I went back to Slang and Loon the story. They was like, yeah, you dopeless. And from that day on, no lie, I walked the streets for 2 years with Slang and Loon like a homeless person, even though I knew I could go home to my mom, my aunt, my uncle, anybody at any time, just to learn how you become dopeless. You know what I'm saying? It takes I can't even tell the secret because niggas is watching. Real talk. Yo, can I get a light so I can smoke some of this drugs? You know what I mean?
So what was the ultimate goal of the Outsidaz? Was it to solo deal, branch off, form other groups?
Shit, it wasn't no goal, man. We was kids. We ain't had no goal. We ain't give a fuck. What we wanted to do was just be dope rap dudes, man. I think one of our goals was very commendable, but idiotic. We were trying to save hip-hop, underground hip-hop, at a time when Jay-Z had already took off. Biggie had already took off. Pac was doing familiar songs, commercial records, you know what I'm saying? Most rappers were doing songs with R&B cats, but we were trying to keep it real to hip-hop. And it kind of saved our careers and saved our souls in a sense, because we never sold out. Which to me is why the Outsidaz is mostly spoken about to this day, because most people never give us our props. Like, yo, everybody rap like us today, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to say this, man. And this came on my timeline like a couple days ago on Facebook. My Spanish homie, Ant, he was like, yo, is that DJ Third Rail? Y'all can firebomb me, man. That's DJ Third Rail, man. Come on, Third Rail. Y'all get love, man. You know what I mean? My brother's here with me. You know what I'm saying? So listen. They gonna fuck up my train of thought. But what was I saying, if you remember?
We were talking about early.
Yeah. So boom. So now with Slang and Loon, I'm dopeless. I'm that dude. I'm making beats and rapping, right? So now the Outsidaz get a deal. Now, like I said before, I got around. Pace was fresh, solo artist. Z was a solo artist. His brother, and Z was a solo artist with his. Z had a solo group with his brother and DJ Mud. They were called No Brain Class. Slang and Loon and DJ Third Rail, who you just saw, they were all here before me. Like, they're Americans, you know what I'm saying? So I met them being dope already. So Slang, Loon, and DJ Third Rail was dopeless. And they were East Orange based mainly. Z was East Orange based as well. You go to Irvington, you got Pace, Slang, and DU, and Jihad. And I think the group Pace and DJ Best was called Prepared Never Scared, PNC. And the group DU and Jihad was the Teammates, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Then Rod Digger in Ivy Hill was a solo artist. And you got Axe from Montclair was a solo artist. So somehow the universe brought us all together. Nauseous was our manager's brother. So, you know what I'm saying? Automatically, they was already rapping. Like, I remember Nauseous being dope as hell before I even, like, put together a whole 16. And he was on a song with KRS-One back in the days they recorded at DJ Scratch House. You know what I'm saying? This is legendary shit. Right off of Linden Avenue. Right on Linden Ave, actually. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so now you got Denzi. He was always with Z. Like, they held Denzi down. You know what I'm saying? Because he was, like, real mad young. You know, some young kids just want to smoke and get fucked up. And you know what I mean? They used to hold Denzi down hella crazy, like Ya and Z. You know what I'm saying? So they took care of him, like, raised him like they was his brother. You know what I mean? So Denzi was always there. Sass came around after the Outsidaz got signed, and I think Axe brought Sass around. So Sass was one of those dudes that came around after everything was popping, but he was dope. So you know what I'm saying? So of course you come to the studio, you dope, I'm gonna put you on a record. I was the first person to put Sass on the song, like literally, you know what I'm saying? On the Outsider song I would share with other Outsidaz. Then you go to Bizarre and Eminem. The way I understand the story is DU and Z, not Pace, but DU and Z. I'm gonna say it again. DU and Z was at a rappers convention or rap battle convention, something like that, and they saw Bizarre rapping and they liked him. You know what I'm saying? And they kicked it with him, whatever. And like, yo, bro, we from Newark. You come back to the bricks. When we had no clue this was going on, so one day we chilling at 20th Street at our house, and Bizarre pulls up with a white boy. He was like, yo, what's good? You know what I mean? Because back then, it's a bug on my shit. Back then, the Outsidaz, I'll say this, were very selfless. We didn't care that you rode our wave. We didn't care you took our style because our shit was infectious. You know what I mean? Once you hung with us, you thought you could rap. And if you really was serious about it, you was rapping. The fuck is this? Man, take this bullshit. Oh, I done broke it. My bad. It's crazy. But you know what I mean? So I'm rapping. Fucked up my train of thought again. So anyway, you got the last person left off with is MZ and Bizarre. So they had the Owl House. You know what I'm saying? We started talking. Before you know it, they started ciphering. I'm in the studio. Z go upstairs and just whipped up a beat. And, you know what I mean? Slang upstairs, Z upstairs. Everybody start writing to the beat. The few folks who got done first, I hopped on there and recorded them. Boom, Slang Loon. The song's called My Coaster. Y'all could Google it, YouTube it, whatever. So that's the Eminem story, how it came about him being with us. So after that week and him getting on songs, we welcomed them with open arms. To the point they came back about either 2 or 3 weeks later with the Mountain Climbers, Salute Firstborn, my guy, and Proof. And like we had first met Proof around that time. Like we have never met them before. Only people we knew was Bizarre and M. Because like I said, within that 3 weeks, Bizarre and M was back and forth and just the two of them just to hang with us. You know what I'm saying? I remember doing a lot for them. I'm not even going to say what I did, but when they were shopping for deals and shit, you know what I mean? I used to do a lot of driving for niggas. I don't know if they remember. Me and Rico. Rico used to manage D12. But anyway, one weekend, Paul Rosenberg came with M. And he was like, you know, I manage M now, la, la, la. And, you know, I wasn't the business savvy. Like I said, I was only 6 years in the country. So I was just happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't care you stealing my money like, you know, some people already said they were on camera for jokes or whatever. But it was a love for music, you know what I mean? Like I said, I came from a community where it was about black people. It wasn't about a black person. You know what I mean? It was about us being men and the women being the women. It wasn't about one person being the man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the law shows you, man, you could steal, you could cheat, you could do all this shit. But if you ain't consistent and you ain't staying relevant, you wasn't never that person. You know what I'm saying? So you could have stolen money or whatever, but where's the music? Where's your love for the music instead of money or stability like I was talking about? You know what I'm saying? Where's your love for your peoples? Like, we have been doing, the Outsidaz have been doing our fans a big disservice by just not unifying for whatever reason and giving y'all like one shot. You know what I'm saying? A good performance, because, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, everybody sound like us. I mean, like, you'll see I do a song, and if I say a punchline 3 times, anybody that say anything, they get stretched like anything. I'm going to just call out some punchlines, right? Any rapper out there saying, he was calling me. Any rapper out there talking about you get stretched like a limo or get stretched like rope, any stretched like shit, nigga, I invented that shit. You know what I'm saying? Any rapper out there talking about I shoot your lights out like such and such, I invented that shit. Just being a little cocky. I'm fucking with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we used to think of shit different, like die balling. If you saying you die balling like something, I invented that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can use anything, any rhyme scheme, but when it comes back to you niggas that get stretched like, y'all wasn't saying that. You know what I'm saying? Nas was telling stories, talking real shit. The Outsidaz was punchlines, bars, witty, and dark as hell. You know what I'm saying? So like we're a different crew, a different swag, a different team. And like I said, I was gonna say earlier, my man from Jersey, Ant, hit me like, yo, I'm with Corey Guns. And Corey Guns was like, yo, man, I remember being a young kid and the first cats that influenced me to do this shit was Outsidaz. We need all you rappers to stop fronting, man. Like we black. Y'all act like we some alien niggas, like we stabbed your mama and raped your wife or something. Like niggas ain't did no dirt to you niggas, man. Y'all got problems. Like just give it up. You know what I mean? A lot of niggas sound like Pace. I'll say it. Jay-Z was not rapping slow until Pace One was in the studio with Ski Beats, rapping slow, telling stories. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Y'all gotta keep it 100, man. Kanye West used to live in Newark, New Jersey, on Commerce Street, or somewhere around there by Gateway Building. Listen, man, you not gonna hide from us. I know the shit. Right now, Griselda is in my hood. Don't even know I know they live in Newark, New Jersey, bro. Y'all niggas been sucking up Noble Drew Ali's best soldiers, bro. Like Noble Drew Ali came here first to Newark, New Jersey. Y'all gotta get up. It's the year of the truth. You keep lying, but as you can see, your pocket's getting tapped. No shows, no money. Talk to me.